Right, we're back. Another college confessions edition of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. Love these. Love college questions. Love college confessions. College kids are so stupid. It's unbelievable. I was so stupid. You were so stupid. Everybody's stupid in college. It's awesome to just continue to understand that people
Yeah.
over time, no matter what, no matter how much we learn, no matter how much information you can get on the internet, all that stuff, you could still just be a complete fucking moron. It's awesome.
I'd like to add you don't need to go to college to be a moron. It really has nothing to do with it. It's more of the age range. So if you did not attend college, you're still a moron.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. People are just stupid. People are stupid. I love it. It's my favorite thing. It just reminds me of when I was that stupid and how stupid I am now. Even still.
Honestly, I get a little nostalgic for being that age and thinking that these were not that they're not to minimize the problems, but sometimes thinking like these are the first time I've encountered this, so this is a major problem. And now I just like encounter it on a regular basis, and I'm just like, this used to be so much more fun, and now it's just a drag on life. But
No, it's not. No, we're not minimizing problems. These problems are stupid. These are not real problems. They're just fake problems. Like nobody has. You're in college. You don't really have real problems for the most part. Right? Like,
I got the best fake problem for you today. Actually, I'm so excited about this one.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Again, I haven't seen any of these. I don't know what's coming. It's all off the cuff. Just this is literally my reaction to whatever you bring to me. So let's get into it. We'll start with kind of the first reactions, initial reactions here. So hit me with it.
Okay. My 19-year-old male girlfriend, 19-year-old female, is mad at me for having sex with a chick in Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a video game. I did not know that. I had to look it up because I was like, I thought it was a band. And I was like, I don't think that that's far-fetched. It's a video game. Like, he didn't actually have sex. His character in the video game.
This is, look, before we get into any of this, there was, when I was in, oh man, I can't remember how, I guess I was maybe in middle school. There was an older version of Grand Theft Auto, and it was the first one I owned. I can't remember if they had it in like GTA 3, or I'm pretty sure they didn't have it before that, but it was like you could do real stuff, right? Like you could do real stuff. And so there was a Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which is like the greatest Grand Theft Auto of all time. I know like the new one, everybody likes it, whatever, but like Grand Theft Auto Vice City was like what set it apart, right? And it was basically set in like Tony Montana, Scarface, Miami, and you just go around, you're like shooting people, like you shoot hookers, like all this crazy stuff. But one thing you could do was go into a strip club, and this was like super early, so it's there's like the graphics are fine or whatever, but like they're not great and like all that stuff. But you go into a strip club and you could stand there and you could pay a woman to dance for you. One of the greatest things of all time, like in any video game. I don't care what anybody says. I loved it. When I was younger, like I would just do it all the time. I would just go in there because it was just fascinating to me, like that you could go do that. So it makes perfect sense that this dude is like having virtual sex like in Cyberpunk. Like it makes perfect sense to me. I am oh my god, I am so on this guy's side that it's not even fair. Like this is just a straight up, I honestly don't even care what this girl has to say. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right anyways, but of all the questions that we've asked and like of all the questions we've done, like if you say to me, hey, you're being a misogynist or sexist or whatever with just blindly supporting the dude, you're 1000% right. There's literally nothing this girl can say that will get me on her side. Just at the end of the day, this makes perfect sense. There's nothing that this girl can say to me that is going to make me think that this guy's wrong.
So let's get into the question then.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was in the room while I was playing Cyberpunk, and I went up to a chick and didn't realize that the lip icon meant you'd have sex with them. I thought maybe it was for a quest or something.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, bro. You absolutely didn't. 100%. You did not. No, you knew what that was. And you, a lip. Okay, all right. Okay, hold on. So this guy.
I thought it might mean that like you like had to talk to them.
Well, that's what he's implying, right? Like it's, you go up, you got to go talk to the character,
Yeah,
and they're going
that's
to send you on a quest and all that
I
stuff.
believe him.
But
I
but
believe in his innocence.
but this implies that this is the very first time he's done anything in this game, right? Because I'm assuming that if he's played this game at all, then there are other ways to get into quests. And if you've had those, like generally games don't have multiple ways to get into quests, right? So it's kind of like this is a standard thing that you do. You go up, you talk to somebody, they do it. If it's a quest, it's always the same thing. So if this was the very first thing that this guy did in the game, then you could be on his side for that. Otherwise, this dude knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to have virtual sex in front of his girlfriend, 100%, because he thought it was cool, guaranteed. I firmly do not believe that this was the first time that he was going to have sex in this game. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like this is the first time he's ever played the game. It sounds like he plays it regularly. That's your point.
Right.
I know. Anyway, so it starts up a sex cutscene, which was very much obvious and crazy for a video game. And she looks at the TV and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She storms out and leaves my apartment. Now she won't speak to me. Did I just screw up my relationship over a video game?
Oh God, I hope you did. Honest to God, I really hope that you screwed up your relationship over a video game. Somebody who is that fragile, right? Like a woman who is that fragile shouldn't be in a relationship. You just flat out should not be in a relationship. This is this is the thing, right? Like I understand, like, hey, maybe don't literally try to have sex in front of me, right? Like don't flirt with other people, don't do that stuff. Like whatever. Okay, everybody's different. Like some people are cool with that, some people aren't. Whatever. You just find a partner that's compatible with that. The thing that upsets me watching other people, particularly young people, in relationships, it happens when they're older too, but most people kind of get it at some point. But the thing that really upsets me when I watch younger people is there's like this idea that you're not even supposed to find other people attractive, right? Like you're just fundamentally not, you're supposed to pretend that other people aren't hot. You know what I mean?
And they just stop existing once you're in a relationship.
Right. But the thing is, like, most people are fucking ugly, right? Like most people, I mean, like honest to God, like, and I know, like, I use myself all the time, but like, it's perfect, right? Because I'm just like middle of the road. Like I just fall on middle of the road. I'm not like super ugly, but I'm not super hot. I'm just like, boom, right in the middle, right? You look at me and you're like, all right, and that's fine. Like, and I understand that. But by definition, that means that like half the people I see are better looking than I am. Like male and female, they're just better looking than I am. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Half of the world around me is better looking than I am, right? And depending on where I am, it could be even higher than that, right? Sometimes you go to a place, you're like, oh, all right, a lot of hot people here.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? This is not my crowd.
Like, for somebody to be in a relationship with me and then just assume that I'm going to just stop finding half of the world more attractive than me is fucking bananas that somebody would expect that, right? Like that is, you're outside your fucking mind if you think that that is a realistic possibility, right? Here's the other thing about dudes, right? And I'm sure this happens with women too. Like and be curious to get your opinion, but I would be shocked if it didn't happen for women too. Again, my whole worldview is that people like to look at attractive stuff, like they just do. Like people like to see attractive things.
Sure that's
people like
nice
things, proven. Right? Like people like to see nice houses. People like to see nice cars, like all those things. Not even as a status symbol. Like they just visually, it's like I would rather look at a nice house than a shitty house. I just would. Like I'd rather look at one and be like, that looks nice. It's the same thing with people. I would rather look at attractive people. So when I see attractive people walk by me, I look at them. Like I stare at them when they go by me. It just never fails. Like I just
males and females, because like I feel like that's
100%,
guys
100%,
like
absolutely,
because it has some. It's not when you're doing that. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's sexual. I guess like you're like, oh, I like.
Oh, it is 1,000% always sexual. It is always sexual. Like there is like don't get me twisted here. It is 100% always sexual, male or female, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily because I'm into them or I want to have sex with them, but I find them more attractive. I want to look at attractive things. My eye is going towards things that are more attractive. It's 100% sexual. It is absolutely sexual. But it's
On
a
that
base
note,
thing that
yeah.
I can't control. I like to see it.
On that note, when I was in high school, we had to do, you had to come up with your own thesis and do like a semester long term paper and a presentation. And you come up with it, whatever, like most people came up with like, they research a specific thing. My research question was, why are humans attracted to each other? And so I did research behind like the scientific reasons, like why some women, and the most interesting thing that came up was people like symmetry of everything. It's like what you said. You like a symmetric face. People with symmetric faces, like if they run algorithms, the more symmetric your face is, the more attractive people find you. But the most interesting is that babies stared at people with more symmetric faces as well. Like a baby will stare at someone who has like what is like a more classically attractive face longer than other faces. So even it like you said, it's not even a like, yes, as you get older, it's like obviously a baby's not staring at it because like they're attracted to them in a sexual way. Maybe I don't really know how that works,
Oh,
but
they're definitely attracted. Like the baby, like little dudes want to bang older chicks all the time. That happens from the womb. That's a fact.
That's
a
a different conversation for another day. But even babies like to look at more attractive things. I mean, we all do. To
100%.
hide that or to deny that is just lying.
Like,
that's what you're
first
doing.
First of all, your high school experience sounds way more difficult than mine. Like just flat out, there was never a time when any teacher in my high school would have looked at any person in my high school and been like, I think that I can give you a project where you choose a semester-long paper research project to write, and it will be completed by the end of the semester. First of all, we were on trimesters. They still wouldn't have even done it on the trimester system. But yours sounds way more difficult. Like your teachers were expected way more.
It wasn't just a term paper. We also had to give a presentation defending it in front of an audience.
No, there's
basically
zero chance.
We were being prepped to do like honors thesis in college.
There's zero chance. Like that sounds way more difficult. But here's the difference. Like here's the thing. You had to be like intellectual to understand the thing that my dumb brain understands on a real simple basis. I like hot people. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need a fucking research paper to tell me that, guess what? I like to see hot people. You know? So anybody who's looking at anything and saying, you just shouldn't think other people are attractive because I'm with you, you're a fucking narcissist if that's true. Like if you expect the other person to just be like, yep, all the other hot people don't exist anymore, like you're a fucking narcissist. And you need to get your shit checked because that's not a realistic thing. Like I will be with people, seriously, like I've dated people, all that stuff, and in front of them with no, and whatever, like you could say I'm like a bad person, probably why people don't want to be with me and all that. So like, that's fine. I'm with you, but I'm not going to hide the fact. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, hey, guess what? That girl that just walked by, super hot. I'd like to look at her for a second. You know what I mean? And so I'll just straight up in front of people, I'll just look. I get it. I understand. But I also am okay, like, if somebody, like if the girl that I'm with, if she looks at somebody and she's staring down some guy or some girl or whatever, and she's staring them down, I'm not going to be like, what are you staring them down for? I'm going to be like, where are they? I'd like to see them, And I'm going to look at them and I'm going to be like, I get it. That dude's way hotter than I am. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That guy's got it going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. That doesn't mean that like, like I'm diminished in her eye. Well, I would mean that, but I mean, I don't like, it's really just more reinforcing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that's the thing, right? Like people are like, well, if you look at them, they're like, you're diminishing me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, by definition, you're already fucking diminished. Like you're already a 5. You know what I mean? Like no girl who's ever like gone out with me has looked at me and been like, yeah, you're more than a 5. Like they don't, like they just know. They're like objectively on the scale, like the global scale of human beings, like you're a 5, that's where you are. So if I see a 7 or I see an 8 or I see a 9 and I look at them, I don't automatically look at you and then go, oh, I can't believe you're a 5. Like it's just a reminder that you're a 5 because they never left. You know what I mean? Like nobody ever looks and like looks back at me and they're like, oh man, for a second I thought you were a 7, but you're really a 5. No, like this is not how it works. Like they look back at me and they're like, oh yeah, this is the best I can do. You know what I mean? Like that's how it works. Like that's the way life works, right? So people who like look at this shit and have this fucking complex about it, like, oh man, if you look at somebody else, you're gonna find me less attractive or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm just gonna know that that other person is more attractive than you. It doesn't change your stance. It just means I saw somebody who's better looking than you. Guess what? Most people, like, there's only one best looking person in the world by definition. Like, by definition of the word, there's only one best looking person in the world. Every other person who is not that person is by definition worse looking than somebody else, right? Like, just that's how it works. I don't know who the best looking person is. You know, I mean, yeah, beauty, eye, beholder, all that stuff, whatever. I'm not even talking about it. I'm saying whoever that person is, there's one of them. And then there's 7 billion other people on Earth, right? So
Yeah.
there's no like, for people just need to understand, like, you're probably not that hot. You know, I'm just telling you, like, you're probably just not that attractive. That's life, you know? Some people are more attractive than you, whatever. But even those attractive people have people who are more attractive than them, you know? So it's okay to have an inferiority complex. It's okay to have that, right? Like I understand that. But to pretend that that doesn't exist is fucking ludicrous. Because, like you said, even babies are doing it, right? Even like little dudes are like looking at, you know, attractive women and they're like, yep, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it works. Because everybody knows, like, inherently, we all know that we are attracted to attractive people. And so this lady, so back to this lady who is getting upset about whatever, like, this is somebody who's just very insecure. Like, she has not accepted this fact that this guy can look at other women and then look at her and still find her attractive, even though there's other stuff happening. Now, you say, oh, it's virtual, whatever. Look, I've seen new graphics. Like, some of those people look super real. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. Like, people are attracted to what people are attracted to. Like, there's a reason that people get that. You know what I mean? Like, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, like, back in the day, it was like Angelina Jolie. You know, like, like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, there was a bunch of dudes who were my age who saw that and they were like, yeah, she's actually kind of hot. Like the video game, like not Angelina Jolie.
Women
like
talk about the
game.
princess in Disney movies.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
You know, it's no different. You're like,
100%.
oh,
yeah,
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming is pretty good.
You know, like, people are like, Aladdin is better looking than Prince Charming or Prince Charming. And,
Aladdin's a handsome guy. Aladdin was super handsome.
I definitely think he's the most attractive.
Aladdin
but
was definitely attractive. Yeah.
But anyway, like, women are doing it too. I mean, and maybe someone might think because, like, I remember Lara Croft, one of the things was just like her proportions were absurd, and people are, you know, but that is really, you're still objectively,
she had
I mean,
big tits and a little waist, and then big hips, like, guess what?
I mean, she
Most
looks
dudes
like
that, you know what I mean?
That's what Barbie looks like. I mean, that's what little women, like little girls, play with, which is a whole nother discussion. But I mean,
stop.
People
like,
are
guess what? People like
are
hot
doing
stuff.
it in both sexes.
People like hot stuff. At the end of the day, like, people like hot stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, I mean, you can try and, you know, politicize, you try and do all this bullshit. It doesn't matter. People like hot stuff. I don't know what to tell you. Like, people would rather look at things that are more attractive than them. That's how that's how the world works. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get away from human nature. So if this girl is storming out, like, let's even pretend that this guy didn't know. Like, I know exactly what this guy was doing, right? This guy was like, let me go talk to this prostitute in this video game. I'm going to get her to do some sexual stuff. My girlfriend's going to be there. Maybe she'll see it. Maybe something will come from that. Either she'll be like, hey, we should have sex right now. Or, hey, that's kind of interesting. And then maybe I could talk her into a threesome, right? Like, that's what this guy was doing. There is zero chance that guy was not doing that. Of all the things that I know about dudes, that's exactly what this guy was doing. Like, that's a way to kind of ease into it, you know? Because then you can play it off, right? Like, if she looks at it, you know, he was probably expecting, she'd be like, well, why are they having sex? You know, and you're like, look, I don't know. It's just part of the game. Like, I just thought it's kind of a funny thing, you know, whatever. Like, you try and play it off. But it's on, like, guys, especially dudes at 19, like, they do this thing where on the outside chance that you could talk a girl into a threesome, you're going to do everything you can to get into that situation. Like, you just are. Like, that's how 19-year-old brains work, right? So that's what this guy was doing for real. Like, I know for a fact that's what this guy was doing. But let's pretend that that's not the case, okay? Let's pretend that this really was the first time and he saw some lips and his dumb little brain was like, well, that must mean that they're going to send me on a quest, which doesn't make fucking sense at all. If you've ever played any video game, that doesn't make there's zero. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But fine. any girl who's going to get that upset about something has insecurities that you're never going to be able to mollify, right? Like, you are never going to be able to soothe her conscience. And the second that you look at another girl in public with her, even just glance, even just out of the corner of your eye, you're going to get stabbed. So you actually dodged a bullet on this one. It's good. I hope that it's out. And by the way, I'm not mad at this girl. I understand that. What I'm saying is she needs to learn that there is a difference between those two things. Like, you can find other people attractive, that this guy is just kind of a horny dude who's probably trying to get her into a threesome, or probably was just trying to set the mood in like kind of a fun way for in his mind, right?
Yeah.
That, like, that's completely different than how he feels about her, right? So there's a big difference between those things. She needs to learn that. So he dodged a bullet. I say don't text her back. Don't talk to her, ghost her, do all that stuff, because this girl is a fucking basket case right now. It's not her fault. I understand that. I'm saying she has a little more maturing to do before she gets into a relationship, because these are insecurities that she honestly really needs to deal with. Like, these are real things that she needs to deal with, because this shit's going to happen for the rest of her life, right? And she will. By the way, I know a lot of guys feel this way at that age. And you mature, you come out of it, and you do those things. What I'm telling this guy is, dude, that's going to be a lot of stress that you just saved. Honest to God, you accidentally just saved a ton of stress for yourself if you don't try to get her back, because you're never. It's going to be a constant battle of you having to reassure her, and that is something you don't want. I'm just telling you, it's something you don't want. It's too much. It's too much.
I'd also like to point out, I didn't know this. I found this out. It's a single player game, so I don't know if it matters like mentally, but in my mind when I first read it, I thought he was like having virtual sex with like another live player, but that's not happening. Do you think that
girls are so stupid?
I never played video games.
No, that actually makes perfect sense. Like, that you would think like, oh yeah, it'd be like
I mean, like, I guess maybe that's even why she got I mean, because that's about, I didn't even play Sims, but I mean, I watched other friends play it, and
I mean, like, you have an idea. It's like the Sims, where people would be talking to each other, but it's really like the new version of the Sims, which would be, literally anything that people are playing these days, Roblox, all this stuff, where it's community gaming. You're kind of roaming around the world with other people, and then you're saying like, okay, he's having sex with this girl virtually, but it's really because there's another human being behind it. So you're saying like, is that different? I mean, and I'm saying it's absolutely not different. This girl to get that freaked out about any of that, she was going to get that freaked out about anything. So what I'm telling you is it revealed the insecurity that was hiding in her anyways, that she hasn't yet had to deal with, right? It hasn't come to the surface because she's been able to hide it, but it's still there. Like, that's still there. That's something that you just dodge. What I'm telling you is that's something you just dodged, because that's still there. She needs to deal with that first, right? And again, I'm not saying like this guy can't help her. I'm not saying the next guy shouldn't help her. I'm not saying any of that stuff. What I'm saying is that's something only she can deal with. Like, I can't just look at her and be like, it's not a big deal. And she's like, oh, all right, I get it. Like, that's not how fucking life works, Like, she has to come to that conclusion herself. Like, she's not going to change until she accepts it. So I can say whatever I want. What I'm saying is she's the one who has to deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good that that this guy basically accidentally caused that to come out, because that was going to come out eventually anyways. And that's a fucking nightmare when it does. And I know it goes both ways, all that stuff, whatever. But what I'm saying, like, it's a nightmare when that comes out. It is. For either side, it is a nightmare.
Like to point out that the way she dealt with this insecurity, the way she dealt, like, insecurity, maybe feeling minimized in the relationship, whatever, she felt hurt. The way she dealt with it was to storm out and leave, and then refuse to talk to him. That's not communicating at all, but that's also like,
it's called being a fucking baby is what that is. Like, that's
but I mean,
fucking baby.
If there is a problem, like, and this is, if something happens and you have any desire to fix it, you need to like literally communicate in some form to begin with. Like, it's not going to be great, but not communicating at all. There's like, giving the silent treatment is just such a common thing in relationships, or when people get hurt. Giving someone the silent treatment and then never talking about it again, and then being like, I feel better about it. You don't actually feel better about it. It'll come out again later. You have not solved any problem whatsoever just because you don't acknowledge it. I'm not saying that some people have different styles, like you need to take a moment, whatever. That's not what the silent treatment is. The
No,
silent
I
treatment is
totally
we're just
agree.
refusing to talk to
Yeah,
someone about
giving
it
a silent
ever.
treatment and withholding sex are two big no's for
Yeah.
me. I think those are two big. I think those are bullshit tactics. I think those suck. I think you're a fucking emotional terrorist if you do either one of those.
Yes.
I think that you are a terrible person if you do either one of those. Honestly, like I genuinely do, because I just think it's bullshit to do one of those two things. I am someone who storms out like 100%. I storm out because I can't calm myself down at the time. I'm very
Yeah.
bad at that. Which, by the way, when I was again, like when I say it's a nightmare when it comes out, by the way, this happened to me. My insecurities came out when I was younger. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the whole point of this show, right? Like,
Yeah.
we are doing this to say, like, here's the dumb shit I did so you don't have to do this. What I'm telling you is the reason it's a nightmare when it comes out is because I have had it come out. And I don't deal with things in a real positive, healthy manner, right? I rant and rave and I do a lot of things like that. And when it came out, it was not fun to be on the other side. And they couldn't talk to me. I couldn't be talked down. I was pretty vicious about a lot of things. Like, I was very petty. I did all of those things. That was not something that they deserved, right? So it was better that it came out. And then, unfortunately, there was a number of them who, I say a number of them, there was more than one who gave me a second chance while I had not matured, right? And so it came out again.
Yeah.
And it came out again, and it came out again until they were eventually like, well, this guy's a fucking lunatic, right? Like, I need to get away from this guy. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like, that's the sort of behavior that this girl is displaying, right? And
Yeah.
so, when you're saying like give the silent treatment, because you're 100% right, like give the silent treatment, she's obviously withholding sex because she's doing the silent treatment thing. It's bullshit, right? So like what I do now,
Yeah, that's a
like,
form of controlling.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's a form of control. 100%.
Absolutely.
Period.
It's yeah. I mean, it's terrorism. Is honestly like it's emotional terrorism. It's relationship terrorism. It's all those things. I've done that. I've been not like this. Well, I've done the silent treatment stuff. Never withheld sex. That's not something I do. But I have done the silent treatment, like all that stuff. It's a form of control. It's not a good thing to do. I was wrong to do it 100%. But even still today, like I am somebody who storms out. Like I'm not good at it. Like I can't do it. I can't calm myself down. And when I can't calm myself down, then I do things that like I don't really want to do ultimately, but like they feel good in the moment, and so I do them, and then I'm like, yeah, well now I feel like a dick and all that stuff. But then it's too late, right? And so when I storm out, like what I do now is I literally have to say like, I'm going to leave, and I'm basically screaming this at the time, but like I'm basically saying like I am going to leave. We will have this conversation when I have calmed myself down, because I can't have a conversation with you right now because I am not going to be like it's not going to be good for me to have a conversation. That's not the same thing as silent treatment or storming out or any of those things. That's a communication where I say, this is how it's going to be. I understand it's going to suck. And when I come back, I'm going to have to say like, hey, by the way, I know it probably felt like shit when I left, and I know it probably felt like I abandoned you and all those things. That's how I have to deal with problems. I want to communicate that with you to let you know that this is how I do things. And by the way, if you're not okay with that, that's fine. Like, we don't have to be together. I'm just telling you, this is how I have to do it, because otherwise it's going to be worse if I stay. Right. And so, that's something I've had to learn, but it's that communication. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's that communication.
Yeah.
You talk about those things.
If someone understands that's your process, they're not going to be, the first couple times they're going to be more hurt about it if it's not exactly their process. But I think that's a lot of people though, going at that argument when it's heated is for a lot of people not, I don't necessarily bubble up into anger as much, but if you were to have a conversation with me when I'm in the middle of being angry, I'm like an angry crier, so like I'm crying, and then I also say like just like the meanest possible thing I can think of, and like I know, and especially with people you're close to, that your partner, your like my sister, my mom, my dad, like I just say whatever, because I know their buttons, all of their buttons, and you especially know your partner's buttons, and you're just going to dig it in there. And that's not helpful, because half the time you really don't mean it. You just want to lash out and hurt them like they hurt you. And so yeah, taking a moment and being like, yeah, I'm going to need a moment. I got to like get it out, you know, whatever the emotion is. That's different than the silent treatment, but that's not even what she was doing. Not reaching back out and not realizing what was so hurtful in this moment and not being able to even articulate it is part of the problem you're saying. She doesn't understand what exactly the problem is yet.
No, she has no idea. She doesn't know what's going on. You dodged the bullet. Don't talk to her anymore. Don't let her back in your life. I'm serious. Like, don't do it. It's not.
Yeah, no, I
She's
know.
not ready for it. You're not ready for it. She's controlling you right now. Like, literally, she's controlling you. That's why you're asking this question. So don't do it. Don't do it. She'll be fine. She'll figure
Yeah.
it out. Like, eventually, you know, if she wants to have a conversation down the road, I would tell you don't do it, because I think that's going to end badly for you. But ultimately, if you want to say like, here's what happened and here's why or whatever, because you think it's going to help her grow, I think that's a terrible idea, because really what that means is you think it's going to grow so you can get back with her. That's the only reason you would have that conversation. But fine, if you want to do that, like, you can make that mistake too. But either way, she needs to grow up. And there's probably ways that this kid needs to grow up too, but not in this instance. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doing something dumb like that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to try and basically set the mood or see if I can get my girlfriend to have sex with me or whatever. That's not something you have to grow up from. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to do that for the rest of your life. So, you know, maybe change tactics or whatever, or find somebody who's like more open to those tactics. Like, that's fine. But you're not going to change that part of you. And honestly, I don't think that part of you needs to grow up. There's probably other parts that do, but this is something she needs to grow up from.
Yeah.
This is a big insecurity that she has. It's not worth your time to deal with it. I'll tell you that right now. It's absolutely not worth your time. It wasn't worth the time for people to deal with my bullshit until I grew up. It's just not. It's absolutely not. That's you know, at the end of the day, you dodged a fucking bullet. There's nothing you need to do. Real crash and burn on that whole trying to have sex with your girlfriend thing, though. Like, just ultimate crash and burn tactic. Did not work. I respect what you tried to do. I get it. Awful idea. Just real terrible execution. You know, like, at the end of the day, just bad execution on your part. So maybe work on that in the future. But otherwise, I mean, that's all the advice I have for him. I don't have anything else for him.
I don't think I have anything else either. I was trying to read through some details again, and I did want to note someone. So this one I had pulled up off of Reddit. Someone made a good joke about asking if he got a computer virus from the interaction, and I just found that
I like that one.
I did. I chuckled very hard when I first read it. You know, I'm always here for a good
good pun.
dad.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, good pun, good dad
fair.
joke.
That's fair. Okay.
Did want to share that with everyone, but at the end of the day, yeah, make sure that you got your shit figured out, because you're just dragging other people down when you don't. And when you realize that, you know, either talk to them about it or cut them loose. Like, don't bring them along for your shitty ride. Is all I have to say.
Don't talk to this girl anymore. Don't talk to this girl anymore. Put it out of your mind. Find somebody else. You're going to be fine.
Okay.
Don't deal with this. Get it out of there. Just stop. Just stop.
Okay, stop and continue having
yeah, find somebody else to have a threesome with. Find somebody else to have a threesome with. Find somebody else that's into virtual sex. Like, there's other people out there who are into that type of stuff. Go do it. This girl's a disaster for you. This relationship is not going to work. I guarantee that. Just run away. All those things. So, all right. So we did it. Fantastic way to start my rainy day here. Unbelievable way to start it. I love this question. I love college confessions. These kids are so stupid. They sound exactly the way I used to sound. Probably how I still sound. It's so dumb. It makes no sense to me. In hindsight, it makes now I'm like, you're a fucking moron. I love this kid. He's so stupid. I was 100% right to be on his side.
Yeah, you were. You called that one.
They, you know, whatever. Yeah, sexist, whatever. I don't care. Absolutely on this one. He was 100% in the right. This girl's a fucking lunatic. She's got to figure her stuff out first. She'll get there, but she's got to figure it out. She needs to hear that, you know, honestly, she needs to hear somebody tell her, like, hey, you're a fucking lunatic. Not like, oh, no, he did something wrong. Like, no, you did some crazy shit. Like, that, you got to stop that. That's a disaster.
Yeah, your reaction was not within the realm of normal, and you got to figure that shit out.
Yeah, you need to do something about that. So, all right, so we did it. We helped another kid here just get better at life. So anybody who has comments on that, you got other questions about college age questions, any sort of questions about relationship, life advice, whatever you want, you can email us at, what's the email?
The email is info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com. We also are on Reddit as You Are Relationship Sucks.
Oh, nice.
So if you
like
want to use that, I added that yesterday.
Look at that. We're multi-platform now.
Yeah.
We are multi-platform.
We
are
got
a podcast
into Gen Z. Like all of we're using.
We're gonna get
seeping into is probably not the best way to put that.
We might even get on Facebook at some point. Just where all the hip, cool kids are hanging out.
I think that you just aged yourself a lot with that comment.
Maybe Friendster. We might get on Friendster. Maybe Blogger. Might start up a Blogger site. Maybe. Are
you just gonna
something
skip
like that.
right over?
Skip right over what?
The
MySpace?
actual. No. Yeah.
No, we'll get on MySpace too. I don't have a problem with that. I think Justin Timberlake owns MySpace. Yeah, I think Justin Timberlake owns it now.
I'm pretty sure I still have my.
I think I tried to look up if I still had my MySpace and I couldn't find it. But I think it still exists, but I don't know if I can find it or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how you get them.
I don't remember my password, and I don't have the same email anymore, so I can't recover it. So
that was a thing right in 2005-ish era. Someone went through people's old MySpace and started posting them on Facebook 8 years later, and it was hilarious because everyone was so embarrassed about what they had posted. Yeah.
Man, I remember they used to change people in the top 8 shit.
But their statuses, it was because everyone in my high school was so emo. It was just all of these
your high school
really
sucked. Your high
ridiculous.
School
yeah.
I
had a great time in high school. I'm not going to deny it. You can
keep
whatever.
But yeah, no, we can get on that. We're gonna be on. We're gonna have a podcast. We got a podcast out there. You can check it out. So your relationship sucks podcast. All that, so subscribe or like, or I don't even know what you do, but whatever it is that you do to support other people, trying to help us out with that. Because we appreciate it. We like doing this. We want to keep doing this. And so do that, and maybe, I don't know. We'll get on some Gen Z stuff. Whatever the kids are into, we'll get on that. Maybe I'll get in this video game. I'll start having sex with this guy virtually or something. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But otherwise, we'll be back next time with another question from just more stupid people about just stupid things that happen in life. We'll be helping more people next time.